How often do we pause to consider the profound impact our relationships have on our well-being? As Marcus Aurelius once said, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. But what if the quality of your relationships is equally crucial? Today, we delve into the wisdom of Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that not only teaches resilience and peace in the face of adversity, but also emphasizes the importance of surrounding ourselves with individuals who respect and enrich our lives. Consider the story of Cato the Younger, a Stoic philosopher known for his unwavering principles. Cato surrounded himself with people who shared his values, allowing him to stay true to his beliefs, even in the most challenging times. This highlights a core tenet of Stoicism, recognizing what truly benefits our inner tranquility and moral development. In this video, we'll explore 12 clear signs that it might be time to reevaluate certain relationships, perhaps even to the extent of walking away. This isn't just about avoiding negative influences. It's about actively choosing a path that aligns with wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. Whether you're looking to cultivate healthier relationships or find the courage to make difficult decisions, this discussion will offer you the tools and perspectives necessary to transform your approach to interpersonal connections. Let's embark on this journey together, learning how to cut ties with grace and protect our most precious asset: peace of mind. If you appreciate our work, please hit the subscribe button and watch the video in its entirety to capture the full essence of our discussion. Number 1. Consistent lack of respect. Have you ever wondered why some relationships leave you feeling drained and undervalued? How often do we pause to consider the silent erosion of our dignity in the face of persistent disrespect? Imagine this. You're consistently treated without the basic courtesy you extend to others. It's like having your dignity chipped away piece by piece. This ongoing erosion is not just unpleasant. It signals a fundamental misalignment with the Stoic aim of living a virtuous life. Take the story of Cicero, the renowned Roman orator, who faced constant belittlement from his peers. Despite his eloquence and achievements, he was often dismissed and disrespected. Cicero's experience highlights a critical aspect of Stoicism: the importance of recognizing and addressing the lack of respect in our relationships. In Stoicism, respect is intertwined with the virtue of justice, which calls for treating others with fairness and dignity. When we discuss a persistent lack of respect, we're addressing a significant breach of both interpersonal ethics and Stoic principles. How do we respond to such disregard? Through words, actions, or neglect? Stoicism teaches us not to react with anger or resentment, which are natural but unhelpful responses. Instead, it encourages us to respond with reason, judgment, and emotional detachment. Think about a situation where you faced continuous criticism, or your boundaries have been ignored. These actions can erode your confidence and create a toxic environment. Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. While you cannot control others' behavior, you can control your response to their lack of respect. Addressing this issue requires honest communication and a firm stance on your boundaries. Expressing how the lack of respect affects you and outlining what you need in terms of respect and consideration is crucial. However, if the other party dismisses your concerns or fails to make genuine efforts to change, it may be time to reassess the value of maintaining such a relationship. Consider the case of a colleague who constantly belittles your ideas in meetings. Despite your efforts to address this issue diplomatically, their behavior remains unchanged. This ongoing lack of respect not only affects your professional performance, but also your emotional well-being. In such cases, Stoicism teaches us to weigh the costs of enduring disrespect against the benefits of maintaining the relationship. If the scales tip towards harm, it might be wise to distance yourself or seek a different environment where respect is a given, not a struggle. Living in accordance with Stoic principles means valuing yourself and others enough to demand respect in all interactions. By choosing to cut contact with those who consistently show disrespect, you reaffirm your commitment to a life of virtue and integrity. This decision, though difficult, aligns with the Stoic goal of achieving inner peace and wisdom. Respect is not just about how others treat us, but also about how we treat ourselves. Allowing disrespect to persist is a form of self-neglect that Stoicism urges us to overcome. By taking a stand against disrespect, you not only protect your own dignity, but also set a standard for how others should treat you, fostering healthier and more respectful relationships in all areas of life. Number 2. Negative effects on mental health. How often do we pause to consider the true impact our relationships have on our mental health? Imagine this. You're at work, trying to focus on a project, but your mind keeps drifting back to a recent argument with your partner. How does this affect your well-being? Let me share a story about a friend of mine, John. John is a middle-aged, single office worker who often feels anxious and stressed. His girlfriend rarely supports him, making him feel alone and unappreciated. This lack of support led John to feelings of helplessness and depression, affecting both his work and personal life. During his most challenging moments, she failed to offer the necessary support and understanding. Stoicism teaches us the importance of maintaining our tranquility, state of being calm and undisturbed. It's not about suppressing emotions, but about understanding and managing them effectively, especially when influenced by others. When relationships consistently sap your emotional energy and leave you feeling diminished, it's a clear sign that they may be doing more harm than good. Seneca, one of the most renowned Stoic thinkers, emphasized the importance of surrounding ourselves with people who uplift and inspire us. Reflecting on the impact of a relationship on your mental health isn't just about identifying negative emotion. It's about taking action to ensure you're not held captive by them. This might mean setting boundaries or even distancing yourself from those who consistently disrupt your peace of mind. Think about John. His constant feelings of anxiety and stress were not just unpleasant. They were signals that his relationship was out of sync with the Stoic aim of living a virtuous life. John had to make a difficult choice: to prioritize his mental health and seek a more supportive environment. When a relationship consistently undermines your mental health, it's a signal to reassess and potentially recalibrate your social connections. This isn't a failure to endure, but a strategic decision to foster a healthier, more harmonious life. Marcus Aurelius once reflected, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Ensuring those thoughts remain unclouded by toxic relationships is paramount to achieving the inner peace and resilience that Stoicism espouses." Modern life, with its constant connectivity and social pressures, can make it difficult to recognize when someone's influence is negatively impacting your mental health. However, the principles of Stoicism remain timeless and relevant. By evaluating the effects of your relationships through a Stoic lens, you can make more deliberate choices about the company you keep. Have you ever felt drained or stressed by a relationship? What steps can you take to protect your mental health? Remember, protecting your mental health isn't selfish. It's a vital component of living a balanced and fulfilling life. By choosing to distance yourself from negative influences, you're not avoiding discomfort, but stepping towards a more serene and purposeful existence. Ultimately, true tranquility comes from within and is sustained by the quality of our thoughts and the company we keep. Number 3. Misaligned values. Have you ever felt a deep sense of unease in a relationship, wondering why constant conflicts seem to arise? How do our core values shape these interactions? And what happens when they don't align with those of the people close to us? Let me share a personal story. During my time in graduate school, I was part of a research group with a colleague named Laura. Laura and I started out with a shared passion for scientific discovery. However, as time went on, it became clear that our core values were fundamentally different. I valued collaboration and transparency, while Laura often prioritized competition and individual success. This misalignment led to significant tension and internal conflict. In Stoicism, our core beliefs and values act as a compass, guiding us through life's complexity and helping us make decisions that align with who we are and what we stand for. When these fundamental principles clash with those of someone close to us, it can lead to significant internal conflict. Stoicism emphasizes harmony and personal integrity, making such misalignments not just inconvenient, but a serious concern. A study by the Harvard Business Review found that teams with aligned values were significantly more effective and had higher satisfaction rates. This underscores the importance of shared values in maintaining healthy, productive relationships. Reflecting on my experience with Laura, I realized that our differing values created a persistent source of tension and discomfort. Over time, these conflicts eroded the trust and mutual respect essential for any healthy relationship. Stoicism encourages us to reflect on our associations and ensure they are conducive to our moral and personal growth. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about the importance of surrounding oneself with people who embody the virtues we aspire to. Consider the well-documented case of Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, co-founders of Apple. Initially, their shared vision drove the company forward, but as their personal values diverged, Jobs focused on innovation at any cost, while Wozniak prioritized user-friendly and ethical technology. Their partnership became strained. Ultimately, Wozniak stepped away, finding his own path and achieving success through projects that aligned with his values. This story illustrates how value misalignment can lead to the dissolution of even the most promising collaborations, pushing individuals towards paths that better reflect their principles. Addressing such misalignments involves a thoughtful examination of the relationship. It may require open and honest discussions where both parties express their values and explore whether a mutual understanding or compromise is possible. However, if the gap is too wide, it might be necessary to reconsider the relationship's role in your life. This isn't about judging the other person as wrong, but recognizing that not every relationship serves the higher purpose of your personal and ethical development. Reflect on this. If you value integrity, but your friend often engages in dishonest behavior, how does this impact your sense of integrity and peace? Recognizing and addressing misaligned values is crucial for maintaining internal harmony and ensuring that our relationships support our journey towards living a virtuous and fulfilling life. This alignment is central to the Stoic goal of tranquility and ultimately happiness. So ask yourself, are the people close to you helping you become the best version of yourself? Or are they pulling you away from your core values? Your peace and progress depend on these reflections and the actions you take as a result. Embracing this perspective doesn't just foster personal growth, it cultivates a community where everyone is uplifted and inspired to live in alignment with their highest values. Number 4, feeling constantly drained. Have you ever wondered why certain relationships leave you feeling utterly exhausted? How do we navigate the delicate balance between giving and receiving in our interactions with others? Let me share a personal story about my friend, Tom. Tom is a dedicated professional who constantly strives to meet the high demands of his job. However, his girlfriend, Linda, continuously expects him to fulfill unrealistic expectations, from excelling at work to managing every detail of their personal life. This constant pressure made Tom feel inadequate and always on edge, leading to emotional fatigue and burnout. Instead of feeling supported, Tom felt drained and overwhelmed, questioning his worth and capability. In any healthy relationship, the exchange of energy should be revitalizing, not depleting. Stoicism teaches us the importance of maintaining our internal energy and using it wisely. Seneca and Marcus Aurelius emphasize the value of being in relationships that are nurturing and reciprocal, rather than those that exhaust our emotional or physical reserves. Research by the American Psychological Association suggests that chronic stress from interpersonal relationships can significantly impact mental health, leading to anxiety, depression, and even physical health issues. This underscores the importance of evaluating the dynamics of our relationships. When you find yourself feeling constantly drained after interactions with someone, it's not just a minor inconvenience. It's a profound drain on the very resources you need to live a good, productive life. Emotional fatigue, a sense of dread about upcoming interactions, or even physical tiredness are clear indicators that the relationship may be costing more than it provides. Stoicism argues that such relationships are unsustainable and unwise. Every relationship should contribute to your well-being and help you progress towards becoming a better, more virtuous person. Reflecting on why a relationship drains you is crucial. Is it due to a lack of mutual support, one-sided interactions, or perhaps the other person's constant negativity or demands? Identifying the root cause is the first step in addressing the issue. This might involve honest communication about your feelings, setting firmer boundaries, or, if the relationship proves irreparable, considering distancing yourself to preserve your peace and well-being. Managing these draining interactions isn't just about removing negativity from your life. It's about making room for more enriching, supportive, and meaningful relationships that align with Stoic ideals of mutual respect and personal growth. Each relationship should enhance your life, not detract from it, allowing you to thrive and contribute positively to the lives of others around you. Have you ever experienced a relationship that drained you of your energy? What steps did you take to address it? And how did those actions impact your overall well-being? By addressing and managing draining relationships, you make space for those that uplift and energize you. The lessons from Stoicism remind us to prioritize our well-being and surround ourselves with individuals who support our journey toward becoming the best versions of ourselves. Remember, you have the power to choose who you allow into your life and how much energy you invest in each relationship. Choose wisely and cultivate connections that enrich your life, fostering mutual growth and respect. Number 5. Manipulation. What happens when the very foundation of your interactions is built on deceit? How do you navigate relationships where reality is constantly twisted? Let's start with a story about a young professional named Alex. Alex worked at a top-tier marketing firm and quickly rose through the ranks. However, he began noticing that his boss, Michelle, often manipulated situations to her advantage. She would twist facts during meetings, making it seem like Alex's ideas were her own, and guilt-tripped him into working late hours by questioning his commitment. Over time, Alex felt more like a puppet than a valued team member, and his ability to trust his own judgment waned. In the realm of Stoicism, the pursuit of authenticity and clarity is paramount. These virtues allow us to live in harmony with our true selves and the world around us. Manipulation, however, stands in stark opposition to these principles. It distorts reality, reshaping it to benefit the manipulator at the expense of the manipulated. This distortion clouds your judgment, leading you away from the Stoic ideal of living a reasoned and virtuous life. According to a study by the Journal of Applied Psychology, employees who experience manipulation at work report significantly higher levels of stress and lower job satisfaction. This research underscores the profound impact manipulation can have on one's well-being. Manipulation in relationships often involves subtle psychological tactics that can be hard to detect. It might be as overt as deceit or as subtle as guilt-tripping or gaslighting, where reality is twisted and your memories or perceptions are called into question. For Stoics, this presents a significant problem. Stoicism teaches the importance of seeing things as they truly are without the interference of external distortions. When someone manipulates you, they impose their will, disrupting your ability to make reasoned judgments based on true perceptions. Dealing with manipulation requires a firm adherence to Stoic principles. Seek the truth, live with integrity, and maintain your autonomy. This might involve setting clear boundaries with the manipulator or becoming more vigilant about the signs of manipulative behavior. It is crucial to reaffirm your values and commit to actions that align with those values rather than reacting impulsively to manipulative tactics. Consider the high-profile case of Elizabeth Holmes, the founder of Theranos. Holmes manipulated investors, employees, and the public by distorting the truth about her company's capabilities. Her actions led to disastrous outcomes for everyone involved, including herself. This example vividly illustrates how manipulation can lead to a breakdown in trust and integrity, resulting in significant harm. Confronting manipulation also involves the Stoic practice of reflection, examining the nature of the relationship and your responses to it. This reflective practice can help you understand whether the relationship can be salvaged through honest communication and a mutual commitment to change, or if it would be wiser to distance yourself. In Stoicism, the preservation of one's moral integrity and peace of mind often necessitates making difficult but necessary decisions. especially when it comes to protecting oneself from harmful influences. By freeing yourself from manipulative relationships, you realign with the Stoic goal of living a truthful and authentic life. This realignment allows for clearer thinking, better decision-making, and a more profound sense of peace, all of which are central to the Stoic way of life. Reflect on this. Have you ever been in a relationship where you felt manipulated? How did it affect your sense of self and your decision-making process? What steps can you take to ensure that your relationships are based on authenticity and mutual respect? In modern life, where relationships are complex and intertwined with various influences, understanding and recognizing manipulation becomes crucial. By applying Stoic principles, you not only protect yourself from harmful influences, but also foster an environment where truth and integrity can thrive. This commitment to authenticity and clarity ultimately enhances your mental and emotional resilience, empowering you to navigate life's challenges with wisdom and grace. Remember, the journey towards a virtuous life is ongoing, and every step taken to align with Stoic ideals brings you closer to true freedom and contentment. Number 6. Lack of trust. How does the absence of trust impact your most important relationships? Have you ever found yourself constantly questioning someone's intentions, leading to a cascade of doubts and insecurities? Let me share a story about my friend Sarah and her partner Mark. Sarah and Mark had been together for several years, but over time, Sarah began to suspect Mark of dishonesty. Small, seemingly insignificant lies turned into major arguments. The constant questioning eroded Sarah's sense of security, making her feel inadequate and unworthy. Meanwhile, Mark, always on edge, never knew when he might be accused next. Their relationship, once a source of joy, had become a battleground of suspicion and fear. In the context of Stoicism, trust is more than just a component of a relationship. It is the very foundation upon which all relationships are built. Trust aligns with the virtue of justice, which emphasizes fairness, honesty, and reliability, qualities essential for any profound and meaningful connection. When trust is lacking, relationships become unstable, filled with doubts and insecurities that hinder genuine intimacy and connection. A study from the Journal of Marriage and Family found that couples who reported higher levels of trust also reported higher levels of satisfaction and stability in their relationship. This research highlights the critical role trust plays in maintaining healthy connection. Addressing a lack of trust involves returning to Stoic principles. It requires honest self-assessment and dialogue. Are my actions contributing to this lack of trust? Am I being as transparent and reliable as I can be? Stoicism encourages us to confront these questions directly, advocating for a return to integrity and straightforwardness as the path to rebuilding trust. Consider the dynamics of Sarah and Mark's relationship. The lack of trust led to continuous arguments and a perpetual state of tension. Sarah felt she could never trust Mark completely, while Mark lived in constant anxiety, not knowing when the next accusation would come. To rebuild trust, they needed to engage in transparent and honest communication, addressing their concerns openly. For example, they could start by building trust through small, consistent actions, keeping promises, showing respect, and demonstrating care for each other. Seeking counseling could also provide a neutral space for them to express their feelings and work through their issues constructively. If trust issues stem from the other party, a Stoic might approach the situation with empathy and understanding, yet with the firmness to set necessary boundaries. This might mean initiating difficult conversations to uncover the root of the trust issues, or taking decisive action if these issues prove insurmountable. In some cases, maintaining your own peace of mind and adherence to Stoic virtues may require distancing yourself from relationships where trust cannot be restored. Reflect on this. Are you living up to the Stoic ideals of honesty and reliability? Are your actions fostering trust, or are they contributing to its erosion? How can you open up a dialogue about trust with those around you? What steps can you take to rebuild it? By aligning with Stoic principles and embodying the virtues of honesty, fairness, and reliability, you can work towards rebuilding trust, or make the difficult decision to distance yourself from relationships where trust is irreparably broken. This approach not only strengthens your relationships, but also aligns with your commitment to living a virtuous and tranquil life, as taught by the Stoic. Remember, the journey towards a virtuous life is ongoing, and every step taken to align with Stoic ideals brings you closer to true freedom and contentment. So if trust is lacking in your relationship, reflect on whether you're contributing to the problem or working towards a solution. Engage in open, honest conversations, and take small, meaningful actions to rebuild trust. If you've reached this point and are still engaged, kindly take a moment to pause and comment below with "I value my peace." This simple act will indicate that you understand the importance of maintaining healthy boundaries for a more serene and fulfilling life. Now, let's continue on this journey together, embracing the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius and Stoicism to lead more balanced, empowered lives. Number 7. Abuse of any kind. How do you protect your inner peace in the face of abuse? Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This philosophy is central to understanding how Stoicism unequivocally condemns any form of abuse. Consider the story of the Roman statesman Cato the Younger. Known for his unwavering principles, Cato faced immense political pressure and personal attacks. Despite this, he maintained his dignity and self-respect, embodying the Stoic ideal of preserving one's inner citadel. Cato's story highlights the Stoic commitment to treating all human beings with inherent worth and consideration, regardless of external circumstance. Stoicism teaches that enduring abuse is never a requirement. Instead, it advocates for the preservation of one's self-respect and personal well-being above all. Recognizing and addressing any form of abuse, be it physical, emotional, or verbal, is critical not only for personal safety, but also for maintaining mental health and dignity. This approach aligns with the Stoic practice of self-care, which is essential for fostering a life of virtue. When dealing with abuse, the Stoic response involves a clear and immediate distancing from the source. This isn't about retaliation or harboring negative emotions, but making a rational decision to remove oneself from harmful situations that violate Stoic principles. By choosing to distance yourself from abusive environments, you reinforce your inner citadel and safeguard your mental peace. Stoicism teaches us that, while we may not control the actions of others, we do have control over our responses and decisions. This wisdom is particularly relevant when facing abuse. The act of distancing yourself from the source of abuse is not a sign of weakness, but a demonstration of self-care and respect for your own dignity. This proactive stance ensures that your environment and relationships contribute positively to your journey toward living a virtuous life. Think about your own life. Have you ever felt diminished or disrespected in your interactions with someone? How did that affect your inner peace and self-worth? Reflecting on these questions can help you understand the importance of removing yourself from abusive environment. It's not about escaping hardship, but about making rational choices that preserve your well-being. In summary, Stoicism teaches us to value and protect our inner peace and dignity above all. Recognizing and addressing abuse is crucial for upholding your commitment to living a virtuous life. Ask yourself, are your relationships and environments supporting your journey towards virtue and wisdom? If not, it might be time to make some changes. By following these principles, you not only protect yourself from harmful influences, but also foster an environment where truth and integrity can thrive. This commitment to authenticity and clarity ultimately enhances your mental and emotional resilience, empowering you to navigate life's challenges with wisdom and grace. As we continue this journey together, embracing the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius and Stoicism, let us strive to lead more balanced and empowered lives, free from the chains of abuse and filled with the strength of our inner citadel. Number 8. Lack of growth or mutual support. What happens when a relationship that once propelled you forward starts to hold you back? How do you identify and address the subtle signs of stagnation that can undermine your personal growth? Let me tell you about Jane, a young professional who started her mornings with a strict routine inspired by successful entrepreneurs. She believed that a good morning routine could set the tone for a productive day. Jane had a close friend, Emma, with whom she shared many early career ambitions. They would often meet for morning jogs, discussing their goals and encouraging each other. However, as time went on, Jane noticed a change. Emma became increasingly negative and unsupportive of Jane's aspirations. The dynamic shifted from mutual encouragement to a one-sided relationship where Jane felt more drained than inspired. Stoicism, philosophy that emphasizes personal and moral growth, teaches us that life is a continuous opportunity for improvement and learning. This growth is not just a personal endeavor, but one that flourishes through mutual support. Stoic philosophers like Seneca and Epictetus often discuss the concept of synergia, or mutual cooperation, emphasizing that relationships should be a space where both parties challenge and support each other in becoming better human beings. Consider the example of Oprah Winfrey and her longtime friend, Gayle King. Their friendship is well known for its mutual support and shared growth. Imagine if, over time, one of them became increasingly negative and unsupportive of the other's goals. Without mutual support, they might still achieve success through their individual talents and efforts. However, the level of success might not be as significant or sustainable as it is today. The encouragement and understanding from a loyal friend provided them with additional motivation, confidence, and opportunities that they might not have had if they were on their own. Their story illustrates how mutual support can enhance personal and professional growth, enabling both to thrive. When you find yourself in a relationship where you are neither growing nor being supported, it can feel like being anchored in place while the world moves forward. This stagnation can manifest as dissatisfaction, sense of unfulfilled potential, or a general feeling that things are not as fulfilling as they could be. Addressing this absence of growth and support involves initiating open and honest conversations about your needs and expectations. It might mean redefining the relationship's goals or, in some cases, recognizing that the relationship may no longer be conducive to your development. For Jane, the turning point came when she realized that her morning jogs with Emma were no longer invigorating, draining. She decided to have an open conversation with Emma about her feelings and the changes she noticed. Despite Jane's efforts to reignite their mutual support, Emma was unwilling to change. Jane made the difficult decision to distance herself from Emma, understanding that sometimes the most courageous and reasonable action is to end relationships that no longer serve one's higher purpose. Research supports this approach. A study from the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships found that individuals who reported high levels of mutual support in their relationships also reported greater overall life satisfaction and personal growth. This underscores the importance of surrounding yourself with people who support and challenge you in meaningful ways. Reflect on this. How do you handle relationships that no longer support your growth? What steps can you take to ensure your relationships align with your values and contribute to your development? Recognizing and addressing the lack of growth and support in your relationships is not only about seeking personal satisfaction, but about aligning your relationships with your fundamental values and striving towards the Stoic ideal of a flourishing life. By ensuring that your relationships support your growth and moral development, you are living true to the principles of Stoicism and moving closer to a life of virtue and wisdom. So, ask yourself, are your relationships helping you become the best version of yourself, or are they holding you back? Your growth and happiness depend on these reflections and the actions you take as a result. Although each person has their own abilities and talents, the mutual support between Oprah Winfrey and Gayle King created a synergistic strength, helping both achieve greater and more sustainable accomplishments. This demonstrates that cooperation and support in relationships can be a decisive factor in achieving significant success. Number 9. Persistent selfish behavior. How do you handle a relationship where one person consistently prioritizes their own needs over yours? According to the teachings of Stoicism, relationships are critical arenas for practicing virtues like generosity, fairness, and reciprocity. Essentially, relationships should be a balanced exchange of give and take. Persistent selfishness, however, contradicts the core values of Stoicism, which emphasize mutual benefit and support. This imbalance not only jeopardizes the integrity of the relationship, but also hinders personal and moral growth, essential elements of a Stoic life. Imagine the historical figure Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and a renowned Stoic philosopher. In his writings, he often reflected on the importance of mutual respect and cooperation. Now consider if Marcus had a close advisor who consistently ignored his counsel and focused solely on their own gain. This persistent selfish behavior would disrupt the necessary balance for a healthy partnership, undermining the very foundation of their relationship. Stoicism teaches us that true virtue lies in balance and self-control. In relationships, this means valuing the well-being of the other person as much as your own. When selfishness becomes a recurring theme, it breeds resentment and dissatisfaction, slowly eroding trust and affection. Addressing persistent selfish behavior requires honest reflection and open communication. It's important to voice your concerns calmly and clearly, focusing on how the behavior affects the relationship, rather than placing blame. This approach aims to initiate a dialogue that restores balance and fosters a more generous spirit. However, Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of self-respect and individual autonomy. If attempts to bring about change are unsuccessful, it's wise to recognize when the situation is beyond your control and consider distancing yourself from relationships that are fundamentally unvirtuous. Every interaction, according to Stoic principles, is an opportunity to practice virtue. A relationship marred by ongoing selfishness is not just a personal issue, but a philosophical one. It's an obstacle to living a good life, which Stoicism defines by mutual respect, support, and the continuous growth of everyone involved. Dealing with such challenges is not only about personal happiness, but about living a morally and ethically enriched life, benefits both yourself and those around you. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Reflecting on this, ask yourself, how can you cultivate and maintain relationships that align with your values? Have you tried addressing selfish behavior openly and directly? If those efforts have failed, is it time to recognize the limits of your influence and consider cutting ties for your own well-being and moral integrity? These are not easy questions, but they are essential for living a life that is both virtuous and fulfilling. If you've read this far, you're already taking a vital step toward protecting your peace and well-being. By embracing these powerful Stoic principles, you can make the right decisions for your life, ensuring that your relationships are sources of mutual growth and support, rather than obstacles to your personal and moral development. Number 10. Destructive communication. How do we navigate the complexities of communication in our relationships, ensuring our words build rather than destroy? According to Stoicism, how we communicate is a reflection of our inner virtues. The philosophy teaches that our words should be honest, constructive, and uplifting, aligning with the virtues of justice, kindness, and wisdom. Persistent negative communication, such as criticism, sarcasm, and belittling, corrodes the foundations of respect and understanding that are essential for any healthy relationship. Marcus Aurelius emphasized the power of words and the importance of rational and wise communication. Imagine if he had a trusted advisor constantly undermined him with negative remarks and belittling comments. This destructive communication would not only cause immediate harm, but would fundamentally alter how Marcus perceived the advisor, eroding trust and respect over time. Consider a modern example in a professional setting. Think of a workplace where a manager frequently uses harsh, critical language with their team. Over time, this destructive communication leads to a decline in team morale, reduced productivity, and a culture of fear and resentment. In contrast, a manager who communicates with encouragement and constructive feedback can foster a positive and productive environment. This scenario mirrors the Stoic understanding that our words shape our relationships and environments. To transform destructive communication, Stoicism advocates for mindful speech. This involves not only controlling our reactions, but also choosing our words carefully to ensure they align with our principles of justice and kindness. When disputes arise, The Stoic approach is to resolve conflicts with the intent to rebuild understanding, not to win arguments or demean others. For instance, in a relationship where communication has become persistently negative, it is crucial to engage in honest reflection and open dialogue. Expressing concerns calmly and clearly, focusing on how the behavior affects the relationship, rather than placing blame, is a key step. This approach aims to initiate a dialogue that restores balance and fosters a more generous spirit within the relationship. However, Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of self-respect and individual autonomy. If efforts to improve communication are unsuccessful, it might be necessary to distance oneself from relationships that remain fundamentally unvirtuous. This decision, though difficult, is guided by the Stoic wisdom of preserving one's well-being and maintaining personal tranquility and integrity. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Reflect on this. How do you handle negative communication in your life? Have you found ways to transform these interactions into something more positive? These questions are worth contemplating as we navigate our relationships. The lesson here is clear. Our words have the power to build or destroy, and it is our responsibility to choose them wisely. By aligning our communication with Stoic virtues, we not only improve our relationships, but also cultivate a more serene and virtuous life. Number 11. Disregard for personal needs. How do you handle relationships where your personal needs are consistently ignored? This is a question worth pondering, especially when considering the Stoic emphasis on respect for personal needs and boundaries. As Epictetus famously said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This highlights the Stoic belief in self-governance and the importance of respecting personal boundaries. Imagine the story of Eleanor Roosevelt, who faced numerous personal and professional challenges, but always maintained her principles and boundaries. Despite the intense scrutiny and expectations placed upon her as First Lady, Eleanor prioritized her own beliefs and values. She advocated for human rights and women's issues, often clashing with societal norms and expectations. Her ability to set and maintain boundaries allowed her to make significant contributions to society and achieve personal fulfillment. In the philosophy of Stoicism, clear communication and mutual respect are pillars of healthy relationships. When someone consistently overlooks or diminishes your needs, it sends a clear message that your well-being is not a priority. This disregard can manifest in various ways: repeatedly overstepping boundaries, making unilateral decisions that affect both parties, or failing to acknowledge and validate your feelings and preferences. Such behaviors undermine trust and equality in a relationship, eroding your sense of worth and autonomy, key aspects that Stoics strive to protect. Addressing these issues involves recognizing and affirming your own needs and boundaries. From a Stoic perspective, this is not about selfishness but about self-care, ensuring that you are not compromising your moral and emotional well-being for the sake of keeping peace. The next step is to communicate these needs clearly and assertively. This dialogue should not be confrontational, but should aim to educate the other person about your needs and why they are important for maintaining a healthy relationship. Consider a practical example from the modern world, a professional scenario where an employee's contributions are consistently overlooked by a manager who prioritizes their own goals over the team's well-being. This employee, let's call him John, finds his ideas dismissed and his efforts unacknowledged. Over time, John's motivation and job satisfaction plummet. John decides to address the issue directly by having a candid conversation with his manager about the need for mutual respect and recognition. The manager fails to acknowledge and address these concerns. John may need to consider seeking a new environment where his contributions are valued. Stoicism teaches the importance of surrounding oneself with people who contribute positively to one's life. If a relationship consistently fails to meet this criterion, creating more turmoil than tranquility, it might be wise to distance oneself. This is not an act of aggression or abandonment, but a measured decision to prioritize personal well-being and moral integrity, key tenets of a Stoic life. Seneca wisely noted, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." emphasizing the importance of confronting issues directly rather than enduring them silently. By recognizing and affirming your needs, communicating them clearly, and making decisions that prioritize your well-being, you embody the Stoic principles that lead to a harmonious and virtuous life. Reflect on your relationships. Are your needs being respected? Not, what steps can you take to assert your boundaries and ensure that your relationships are aligned with your values? Remember, it is better to stand alone in alignment with your principles than to compromise your well-being in a relationship that does not respect your need. In conclusion, the disregard for personal needs is a significant sign that it might be time to reevaluate a relationship. By prioritizing your well-being and maintaining clear communication, you align with Stoic virtues and move closer to living a balanced and fulfilling life. Number 12. Lack of mutual accountability. Why is mutual accountability essential in a relationship? This question might seem straightforward, but its implications are profound and far-reaching. In the philosophy of Stoicism, mutual accountability is not just beneficial. It's essential for fostering trust and respect. Without these critical pillars, relationships can deteriorate, leading to repeated misunderstandings and eroding the foundation of healthy interaction. Consider the story of Scott and Amundsen, the two explorers who led separate expeditions to the South Pole in 1911. While Amundsen's team reached the pole first and returned safely, Scott's expedition ended in tragedy. One critical factor in their differing fates was the lack of mutual accountability within Scott's team. Unlike Amundsen, who maintained clear communication and shared responsibilities effectively, Scott's team suffered from poor coordination and inconsistent commitment to their roles. This lack of mutual accountability led to fatal delays and missteps, ultimately contributing to the tragic outcome of Scott's expedition. In Stoic practice, each person is encouraged to reflect on their actions and take responsibility for them. This includes acknowledging when one's actions have negatively impacted another and making amends where possible. The absence of accountability in a relationship can lead to a one-sided dynamic, where one or both parties feel unheard or disrespected. This imbalance is profoundly destabilizing, because, in a Stoic sense, relationships should be a source of mutual support and growth, helping each individual better align with their virtue. Addressing a lack of mutual accountability involves open, honest communication. It requires both parties to discuss their expectations clearly and agree on what accountability looks like for them. This might involve setting specific standards for behavior, discussing the consequences of actions, and having regular check-ins to ensure both parties feel supported and respected. Let's take a closer look at a modern scenario. Imagine two colleagues, Jane and Mark, working on a critical project. Jane consistently meets deadlines and communicates effectively, while Mark frequently misses deadlines and fails to inform Jane of important changes. This lack of accountability from Mark leads to frustration and mistrust. Jane decides to address the issue by having an open conversation with Mark, explaining the impact of his actions on the project and suggesting clear guidelines for future work. If Mark fails to improve despite these efforts, Jane may need to reassess their working relationship. Stoicism teaches that enduring harmful situations indefinitely is not virtuous. Instead, it suggests seeking and maintaining relationships that promote moral and personal growth. Cultivating an environment where mutual accountability is prioritized is not just about maintaining harmony. It's about actively fostering a relationship that respects the Stoic ideals of justice, wisdom, and courage. Research supports the importance of mutual accountability. Studies have shown that teams with high levels of accountability perform better, experience greater job satisfaction, and have lower turnover rates. These findings underscore the value of accountability in building strong, effective, and fulfilling relationships. Reflecting on your relationships, consider how you can implement these principles in your life. Have you communicated your expectations clearly? Are you taking responsibility for your actions? If efforts to establish mutual accountability fail, it may be necessary to evaluate the relationship's viability. Remember, the wisdom of the Stoics isn't just ancient text. It's a living, breathing guide for navigating the complexities of modern life. By embracing mutual accountability, we not only strengthen our relationships, but also honor the Stoic commitment to personal integrity and collective well-being. As you navigate your relationships, think about the role of mutual accountability. How can you foster a culture of accountability and respect? What steps can you take to ensure that your relationships are conducive to mutual growth and support? These reflections are crucial for living a life aligned with Stoic principles and achieving a balanced, fulfilling existence. In conclusion, the lack of mutual accountability is a significant sign that it might be time to reevaluate a relationship. By prioritizing mutual accountability and maintaining clear communication, you align with Stoic virtues and move closer to living a balanced and fulfilling life. As we close this chapter, remember that the wisdom of the Stoics isn't just ancient text. It's a living, breathing guide for navigating modern life's complexity. Thank you for joining us today at Stoic Journal. Let's recap the key points from today's video on the 12 signs that you should cut all contact with someone based on Marcus Aurelius's Stoicism. We've explored how to recognize manipulation, misaligned values, persistent selfish behavior, lack of respect, absence of growth or mutual support, and more. These insights are crucial for maintaining your mental peace and aligning your relationships with the principles of Stoic wisdom. Reflect on these signs and consider how they might apply to your own relationships. Cutting contact with someone isn't just about avoiding negativity. It's about prioritizing your well-being and living a life aligned with virtue and wisdom. How do you currently handle toxic relationships? Have you ever had to make the tough decision to distance yourself from someone for your own good? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. If you fully agree with the 12 signs, comment 12 and share your personal story. Don't forget to like, subscribe to Stoic Journal, hit the notification bell for more content on living a virtuous and fulfilling life through Stoicism. Thank you for watching, and until next time, take care and stay true to yourself.